everybody. So today I'm doing one of my end of the month wrap-ups that I like to do, where I talk about the new films that I saw during that month. These are not necessarily the August releases, because some movies I don't get around to seeing a couple months after they released in theaters. And I do also include not just feature films, but the made-for-TV films that I saw in that month. So it's always a fun little diverse group of movies. So here we go. Let's talk about the movies that I saw in August. Let's start off with Hobbes and Shaw. And it was a ridiculous movie. It's very over the top. This was a pretty fun watch. It's definitely way too long. It's probably 30 minutes too long. And so I think you could cut out all the parts in Samoa, because that just felt kind of patronizing to me. And I don't know, just wasn't really needed. And so it did get a little repetitive, but overall I walked out having had a pretty good time. It's completely over the top and absurd, but The Rock and Jason Statham had pretty nice chemistry, and there were a lot of fun in their roles. So I enjoyed it for the most part. So I would give it smile worthy. Then I saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. This is only my second Quentin Tarantino film that I've seen. I preferred this much over Pulp Fiction personally, but this one, it definitely is also way too long, and there are so many scenes of characters driving that serve no purpose but to be a cool shot of somebody driving. But I thought that Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt were great in their roles. I really thought Julia Butters was wonderful in a little supporting part. I really love her in American Housewife. And overall, it's definitely very over the top at the ending, but it was so over the top that it was almost humorous. It was ridiculous. So I wasn't like offended by it, because it was just completely over the top. But yeah, it's not the best movie, but I thought it was okay. So I give it smile worthy. Then The Peanut Butter Falcon. I actually got to interview the director and writer of this, and they were really cool. But I really enjoyed watching it as well. I thought it was a really sweet movie with a really nice message, really nice casting. Shia LaBeouf does a great job. Then you have Zach, the actor with Down syndrome, and he is really, really charming and charismatic and does a wonderful job. And it was beautiful. The cinematography was really nice, and it's just a very sweet, sweet movie. And so definitely check it out if you haven't. So that's smile worthy. And then I saw The Art of Racing in the Rain. It's based on the popular book. I haven't read that book. I wanted to get it read, but I didn't have time. I thought that some of the stuff with the grandparents was way over the top, but for the most part, I thought it was a really sweet little movie. The dog was really cute, and I thought that Amanda Seyfried and Milo, they did a good job together. They had nice chemistry, and overall I enjoyed it. I give it smile worthy. Then Descendants III came out on Disney Channel. This definitely had a nice message. It was a little heavy-handed, but I kind of liked that one of the villains went evil, and I loved Hades. I could have used way more of him. I thought that he was very funny, and I liked his song the best by far. But overall, I thought this was the weakest as far as choreography and as far as singing of the three. And so it's not awful, but I'd probably give it frown worthy, just because I thought that it felt a little lazy to me as far as the choreography and the singing, which is my favorite part of this series. Then Dora, the Lost City of Gold. This turned out to be really funny and subversive and break the fourth wall, like I was kind of hoping it would be. You can tell it has Nicholas Stoller behind the script, because he did the Muppets, he has others, and he's a really fun writer. And I really thought it was sweet, and I thought it was funny, and I liked the spirit of adventure, and so I really enjoyed it, and I would give it smile worthy. Then we have the Angry Birds 2 movie, and I should talk about Hair Love and the short before it. That's definitely smile worthy. That was so good, so much heart, so well done. They did a great job. Angry Birds movie 2, the plot isn't that great, but I thought it was really funny. Almost every joke made me laugh, and so they pulled it off. They did their job. And I actually ended up seeing it twice, because the screening didn't have the Hair Love short, and I wanted to see it, so I went a second time, and I really enjoyed it. It's kind of my Help Transylvania 3 of this summer. I liked that, and I liked this, and so smile worthy for me. And then from Hallmark, there was Love and Sunshine. This I thought was going to be a lot better than it ended up being. I thought it would have a lot more melodrama with it being a soldier story and there being a dog and all the stuff. Danica McKellar, Mark Declan, they were really sweet together and they did have pretty nice chemistry. But I don't know, I just thought it was pretty bland. And so I was a little disappointed. I'm going to go frown worthy on it. But it's not awful, but I don't know. Then the kitchen I did not like at all. I thought that it was tonally all over the place. Like the humor just felt so off and the story wasn't that good. I mean, the big story is that it was these women doing these empowering things supposedly in the mob, but all they showed them was like collecting money and stuff. There wasn't like a story really behind them. And so it just came off as so false. And I really did not like the Elizabeth Moss character. The way they integrated humor with her character was just awful. And I don't know. I just thought it was a huge mess. And so frown worthy for me on the kitchen. Then I've only gotten to see 2 of the Roar Teegarden movies. There's 3, but I haven't seen all 3 yet. And these are pretty fun mysteries. They do a pretty good job of obfuscating the clues. And Niall Mater's doing a good job as playing her kind of love interest. And so I saw A Game of Cat and Mouse and An Inheritance to Die For. And they were pretty fun. If you like these cozy mysteries, I'd give them both smell worthy. Then we have Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I thought this was pretty fun little PG-13 horror movie. It was pretty scary. It definitely had some gruesome stuff, some gruesome imagery. And I thought the kids were pretty good in it. Some of them were a little annoying. But yeah, I liked it. So I give it smile worthy. Then Angel Has Fallen. I thought this was a pretty solid. I haven't seen any of the Has Fallen movies, but I thought this was a pretty good cat and mouse kind of chase. It reminded me of an episode of 24 where Jack Bauer's kind of on the run and there's like a mole in the government that's all that kind of very elements of 24, which I love 24. So this was entertaining. I'm never going to watch it again. It's not like a great movie, but I liked it, so I give it smile worthy. Then A Taste of Summer. I thought it was going to be much better about these 2 sort of battling chefs, because the 2 leads were actually married in it, Eric Winter and Rosalind Sanchez, but it was not good. The script was not good. The problem is that the main conflict between the 2 of them didn't start until way into the movie, till like an hour into the movie. Then they finally get to this contest where they're actually competing. And so it was just like nothing was happening. Nothing was interesting. And they just felt so wooden and so, it just wasn't great. I'm giving it frown worthy. Then Where'd You Go Bernadette? I really disliked this book, so I was very skeptical about the movie. There's just definitely some times where Kate Blanchett and Richard Linklater elevate it over the book. There's particularly some brilliant sections of dialogue, which is what I think Richard Linklater is especially good at, in making dialogue that feels really authentic to the characters. And so there's some definite sections with that, but everybody was just so awful. And like, you're supposed to feel sorry for Bernadette because she is like a stifled artist, but I just thought she was the worst. I hated her in the book and I hated her here. I hated all the characters. They were all just selfish and I didn't, this is not for me. Frown worthy. Then we have The Art of Falling in Love. This was on the Up Network. This actually ended up being a really sweet little movie. The acting isn't like the greatest, and there's some problems with it, but overall, I thought the story was actually really sweet, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was cute. There's some nice depth to the characters and to their motivations. They're not just being stupid. And I liked the 2 leads pretty well. They were cute. And it's like I said, the acting could have been better, but overall, I enjoyed it. Smell worthy. Then we have Murder Mystery. This is from Adam Sandler, and this had some fun moments. Particularly, I liked Luke Evans as this like European elite guy who owns this yacht that gets this couple involved in this murder mystery in Europe, and and it just wasn't funny. It was not funny. I didn't laugh a single time. And so when a comedy isn't funny, it's just kind of like, it wasn't like outwardly offensive like so many of Adam Sandler's movies are, but it just did nothing for me as far as entertaining me. It was just super bland. So frown worthy on that one. Then I saw Otherhood. This was also on Netflix, and it has a great cast: Patricia Arquette and Felicity Huffman and Angela Bassett. They play these moms and their kids forget the Mother's Day. So then they decide to go and check up on their kids. And they're just these kind of women that you never see in real life, but are always in the movies, that are super, super like overly involved in their children's lives and super judgy about all their choices. And I don't know, it was just, everybody was so cringeworthy and annoying. And I hated it. I thought it was awful. I give it frown worthy. Then I saw 47 Meters Down, Uncaged. I actually really liked the first 47 Meters Down. I thought it was really fun. And so this was a big disappointment to me. First of all, they're not 47 meters down. And there's even a bunch of times when they are able to get air and get to the surface. And I don't know, it was just like there was very little tension. These girls were so annoying. And like the kills and other stuff was so ridiculous and over the top, whereas I felt like it was actually pretty gritty in the first one, and it was just self-contained with just these two characters way underwater. And so I thought that was much better than this. I mean, especially there's one scene where it's right out of Sharknado. There were actually a lot of scenes, and the sharks are like zombie sharks, they're blind sharks, and so it was just very disappointing to me, actually. And so frown worthy. Then there was A Summer Romance. This was from Hallmark. This stars Aaron Krakow, Ryan Pavey. This was a very tired story of the business executive coming in to purchase the family ranch so that they can like build condos and some huge resort on the land. And of course the Aaron Krakow character, she doesn't want to sell and whatever. So the story is not great, but I thought they actually did a really good job. I liked them as a couple. I liked all the supporting actors were all really good. And so it actually ended up winning me over despite a tired story. So I give it small worthy. And then All Summer Long. This is also from Hallmark. This was about a girl who gets to do her dream of becoming a sailor on this dinner cruise ship. And it turns out her ex, Brennan Elliott, is the chef on the dinner cruise. And I like Autumn Reeser and Brennan Elliott a lot. I thought that they were really nice together. And I thought that it was pretty well written and just a sweet little movie. And they're docked for most of the movie on the boat, but it was still pretty good. I give it smell worthy. Then last is Falling in Love. This is your Hallmark wannabe from Netflix. It definitely had a few things that you wouldn't necessarily see in a Hallmark movie. There's a little bit of LGBTQ representation. You have a little bit more PDA kind of shown. You have a little bit more, like she's in a bikini at one point. There's just a few things that made it not Hallmark, but it's basically the same plot of All of My Heart, and where she wins this inn and she goes to New Zealand to renovate the inn, and she meets this hunky towns guy, and he was super hunky and super charming, and of course they don't like each other first, but then they learn to get along. It was cute, it was fun, I enjoyed it. I give it smile worthy. So there you go. That's my thoughts on all the movies I saw in August. So what did you see? Did you have any favorites? I would love to hear your thoughts. It was kind of a weird month for me, but my favorites of all of those movies is probably the Peanut Butter Falcon. That was really good. So that's probably my favorite. So let me know what you think. And thanks so much. Please subscribe to my channel. I'll talk to you later. Bye.